So with all the hate surrounding this film, all the negative reviews surrounding this film, we have to put that all aside, go into the film with an open mind, and let's just hope that this movie is at least decent or at least better than the previous Fantastic Four movies. Come on, please. Fantastic Four. So Fantastic Four is a reboot to the Fantastic Four franchise. It is essentially trying to reinvent the Fantastic Four franchise after the last two films were not that good. People have been skeptical about this movie right from the beginning. All the negativity, there have been reports coming out that Josh Trank, there's drama around set, that he left the set, all kinds of drama happening around this film. There's a lot of things that have been surrounding this film, negativity for this film, and a lot of unnecessary negativity, I might say. This movie cannot possibly be bad to the point where it has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. It cannot be that bad. So when I went to go see the movie, I said, forget about all the on-set drama, forget about all the negativity, just go into the film with an open mind. Forget about everything. Just watch the film for what it is. And when the movie was done, I left and I was just thinking to myself, how is this the movie that so many people have been calling it terrible and comparing it to Green Lantern and Batman and Robin? Fantastic Four by no means is a terrible film or even a bad one. Is it a great movie? Absolutely not. There are tons of flaws with this movie. But the fact that I hear some people are comparing it to Batman and Robin and saying that it's like one of the worst comic book films ever? But forget about that stuff. Let's talk about what makes the film good, and then later on we're going to talk about what makes the film not so good. First off, the positive. The cast. The cast in this film, right from the get-go, I knew this was an amazing cast. The cast was phenomenal. The acting in this movie all around was great. Miles Teller was great as Reed Richards. Jamie Bell was great as Ben Grimm. Michael B. Jordan, it's funny. People hated on Michael B. Jordan because guess what? He is black and Johnny Storm in the comic books is white. Let me tell you something. Michael B. Jordan is great in this movie. Kate Mara was great in this movie. Toby Kebbell as Victor Von Doom was great for what he was given. The thing that I really like about this film was that the cast had great chemistry. One of my biggest complaints about the old Fantastic Four movies was that the cast had no chemistry. You had good actors in it, except Jessica Alba. Some of my favorite moments in the film was them just talking to each other, especially Miles Teller and Jamie Bell. The special effects and the action scenes that were at the end of the movie were well done. You know, even though there's not a lot of action in this movie, for the most part, this movie's an origin story. But for the action that was in the movie at the very end, it was well done and well executed. As for the origin story, I really liked how they developed the origin story. I liked how they took their time with the movie. I was like, okay, I'm liking this. I like the way they got their powers. And this film made more sense on how they got their powers. And I really like how this film dealt that once they got their powers, they deal with it like if it's a horror film. And I really like that. It's different compared to other comic book movies, the way they deal on how people get their powers. However, there are tons of negatives with this movie. The script is still an issue in these movies. Honestly, the characters are not fully developed. There are times where you're like, wait a minute, like, they're not fully developed to a point where like, I'm not sure if I even care for them. And this movie is way too short. This film is an hour and 40 minutes. So check this. Not including credits, the movie is an hour and 30 minutes. So I'll say this. The first hour of the film, the first two acts in the movie were solid, well-constructed film. But by the third act, the final 30 minutes of the movie, it goes all over the place. Once the third act comes in, everything starts to feel rushed. And I heard in an interview a while back, Josh Trank was talking about how his first version of Fantastic Four was 2 hours and 20 minutes. There are scenes that are in the trailer that are not in this film. And you think to yourself, definitely feels like there have been scenes that have been cut out that should have been there. And Dr. Doom. Another problem with these movies. They can't get Dr. Doom right. Like how I said, Toby Kebbell was great for what he was given. They didn't utilize him enough because he's a great actor. But what I can say is that the powers that they gave Dr. Doom were great. And his look, everyone kept saying Dr. Doom looks like trash, he looks like an actual garbage bag. But in the movie, when you watch the movie, it makes sense why he looks like that. There's this great scene of him going down the corridor, they released it online, and it was awesome. The ending of this movie is not good. It's rushed, and honestly, you feel like a good 20 or maybe even 30 minutes of the film should have been there, but it's cut out. This is how it feels. It feels like you went to Olive Garden, you got the appetizer, you got the salad, okay, everything's starting to look great, but you never get the full meal. And you're like, where is it? I'm not saying, oh, this movie had no action, that's why I hate it. No, it's that when the action finally does come, you feel underwhelmed, and it's so rushed, and the villain was rushed. Because the way he developed Victor Von Doom, at first I was like, okay, he's different. I'm okay with this. And then as soon as he becomes Doctor Doom, he's just rushed. And you really feel there are some scenes of Doctor Doom in the trailer that are not in the movie, and you feel like they could have developed him more. First half of the film felt like Josh Trank was giving what his vision of the Fantastic Four was. And then in the third act, the final 30 minutes, felt like there were so many cooks in the kitchen that they were messing with the film, and then the film just becomes a total mess in the third act. But honestly, I would probably put the blame on both Trank and Fox. Because I know Josh Trank is saying, look, this is not what I envisioned the film to be. Fox got into my film and all that stuff. But as a director, you have to accept, look, you gotta have faith in your own film. I know it's not what you want it to be, but you gotta have faith. And also too, I see in the third act, I feel like Fox definitely did get in there. It's like, well, Trank, you made this film, well, it's time for us to get in and mess with it. But overall, I'm gonna give Fantastic Four a C+. It is not a bad film. Here's the thing. If you're gonna go see the film, if you were interested in seeing the film, I think you should see the film. Do I think everyone should see the film? Probably not. If you're not interested in seeing the Fantastic Four, then don't bother going to see it. But if you are interested in seeing it, then go see it and get your own opinion about it. Don't listen to other people saying like, oh, this film's terrible, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, bad. Because there's a lot of trolls. You go on IMDb. Don't listen to IMDb first of all, because if you look right there in the ratings, you just see a bunch of trolls putting ones and ones and ones without even seeing the film. So don't listen to IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes, there are some reviews that are overly exaggerated. So go into the film with an open mind and form your own opinion. Overall, it's a real disappointment. And it's a shame that this film is probably not going to do well. And this cast is not going to be able to be in the next Fantastic Four movie. There was so much potential with this film. And it sucks because if you guys see it, you'll know the first two acts are so good. They're really good. It's a well-constructed film. Then once the third act comes in, you're like, what the hell? Where did it all go wrong? It's a shame, honestly. So guys, those are my thoughts on the Fantastic Four. What are your guys' opinions about the film? Did you guys like it, or did you find it not good at all? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.